Volume 4, Matt's still with us. He hasn't killed himself yet. And we're putting the golf clubs together. We're going to grip them, we're going to measure them, and we're going to give you a look of just how good a job that he actually did. So stay with us. There's a lot of information to be had. All next at McGolf. Okay, so the very first part, we're going to do some gripping. And the first part of gripping is knowing where to put the tape. So the first thing we want to do is we'll use one grip as our model. The white line starts at the top. We go to the white line here, make a black mark, and that's where the tape ends so that it doesn't stick out at the end of the grip. Pull out a given length, and that's where we place it. We start it nice and tight. Fold it over, make sure it's nice and tight there. The idea is no wrinkles. And then we cut off the back, and we are good to go. That simple. Okay? Your turn, big dog. Let's see what happens. Now the part of these things, everybody's asking, so how do you know what the core diameter here is? Well, they're actually on the inside. If you were to flip this thing over and read it, there is actually, it gives you it says Golf Pride, and then it says 600R. 60R means...
Are you putting extra wraps on? Didn't I build them up for you?
That's a great question. What did we do?
Gallery.
What extra grips? What extra?
Wraps.
How many extra wraps did we put on?
I believe we put about 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Because I wrap it in the dripping area.
We're good. We'll just do one with these.
Are you sure? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's like, seriously.
There you go. Fold it over. So it's a 60R means 600 core round. Now in other manufacturers, and that's the reason why I got to look it up, the R might actually mean ribbed. And the ribbed means that there's a line of extra rubber that goes all the way down there to give it that egg-shaped feeling.
I didn't do it.
All that last here, we'll just,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
With the jumbo, at the back end with that stuff in there, you won't feel that. All right, let's keep going. This is where the experience part's going to start showing up for you.
This is what I have experience in. That's the funny
A
part.
little further down. There we go.
This is what I have experience in.
So the idea is if we want it to be jumbo, which is this is, we want that to be a 600 butt and this to be a 600 core, and then they would be jumbo. Now some of the other shafts will come in at a 610, which means that this grip will be slightly larger than what you're looking for. And some people want that. When you get those people put an extra layer of tape for me, well, if you put on a 610 butt, you're effectively doing that. Now some might be smaller, in which case the opposite would be true and make it just slightly smaller. Okay. Now if you get a lot of excess on there, just cut it off.
Yeah.
And then the grips come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. This happens to be basically a soft rubber compound that is a low taper, which has been very, very, very popular in this last couple of years. Wind has some. All the grip companies are making something that in the low taper variety. Now when it gets done, what you saw initially is we laid them out such that it was lightest to heaviest within that 1 gram. Would that make a big deal? No. But in this case, we're going to be a little more precise, a little more true to form, and we're going to, there you go. And then we're going to, in order for the lightest going on the tallest club and the heaviest going on the shortest club. Now pull it tight. There you go. Now you lay it here, so you got your first part of it starting up there, and then just roll it over, and then there you go, like that. There you go.
Whatever's left, you just...
And then that part just folds right in.
Now,
Right.
what is the idea of doing it this way? Is it just a time saver for you, or? 'Cause
Well,
I know when I do them in my little work area, I always do it. Just do it. Put it in, put the grip in, and then still let it dry. You know what I mean?
Well, if there's two different styles of tape. There's a 2-inch wide tape,
Yeah.
and there's a 3/4 inch wide tape. The 3/4 inch wide tape, there's basically two methods of putting the tape together. One is we call it the ping method, where you wrap it all the way around, and that takes a level of skill a lot of people don't have.
No, I mean like actually taking the grip and putting it on right when you put the tape on. So instead of going through and just having them sit there without the grip on them.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see. So you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
put
yeah.
the grip on, then, or put the
Yeah.
tape on, put the grip
Yeah.
on. When you do several of these,
This is the fastest way.
well, what it is that people tend to get the grip solvent on their hands,
Yeah.
and the tape becomes slickery,
Oh, yeah.
and it's really hard to manage the tape. So if you don't have any of that on you, you're able to manage the tape a lot better, and then you're able to, and then you go to the next one. Because what will happen is if you go to grab that tape and you go to put it on, it won't stick.
Yeah. Interesting. Once again, it's always about being. I cut
Uh-oh,
myself.
what did you just do?
I cut myself.
And you made a shorter piece of tape.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have to take that tape and tape your skin together. Dude, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Just tear it.
Yeah.
Here. We got something for that. Let me show you this one more time so we can get full intention. You're bleeding all over my stuff, man. So this one for this right here, just pull it to the side so you don't have to kill it, as I didn't measure. Give that thing a little bit of time to rest. Alright, so get the first piece on so it's nice and tight. Hold that over so there's no wrinkles. Pull that one tight. Get it nice hard twist there, and push in, and you know you're good to go. And then by the time Matt gets done washing his hands, we'll get into the gripping part of it. And then his cut's really going to hurt. 2 more to go. Series of 11 here. Now, if you had 3/4 inch tape, as we were talking earlier, guys have in the past have ran it down one side and then come around the other and just folded it together, and they've done that in the past. That just uses a lot of tape, hence the whole reason for the double-sided, because then it was just the length of the tape and you were good to go. All right, we got the heaviest one right here. We're starting the sand wedge, so that goes together. We put this in here just a squirt. That's all you need. You get it in here. You're shaking it up so that you get all the inside of the grip all coated. And let it get on top of there. You can pass it probably 3 or 4 times. Cover up the weep hole with your thumb. You're guiding it on. You're pushing it with the backhand, making sure that the lettering and the line here are in line at 12 o'clock to go down to the leading edge of the club. Once you've got that, you tap it for seating. You look at it just to make sure that it's in alignment you like, and then we wipe that off to see if there's any extra goo on it, and we move on. Alrighty, are you ready?
Yes.
Alrighty, straight up and down. There we go. You got in there good enough. Just a quick thumb over the weep hole.
Yep.
There you go. And it just takes a quick squirt because a lot comes out of it. There you go. shaking it up, and then we just let it drain out. There you go. Thumb over it and just use the back end to push it on. How about that for ease? I'm surprised it didn't pull right off.
Yeah.
There it goes. All right, now make sure it's aligned that this runs down at 12 o'clock to the bottom of that. Both pieces. All right. Tap it and align it. Make sure you like it when you're at a dress. This is your club, man. Good. All right, wipe her down. And this is the reason why.
He's got you now.
There we go.
Are there any alternative grip solutions that you've ever used, or have you always used the Golfworks stuff?
I've always used the, so the Golfworks stuff comes from a place called Florida Chemical, and it's a citrus-based solvent. Give it one more. Maybe not. You're good. It's a citrus-based solvent, so that it has that orangey smell.
Yeah.
The only downturn to that is if you work outside in the summer, the bees love it. But outside of that, it just has that particular smell. Now, again, out on the tour, naphtha or mineral spirits is what a lot of those guys will like, and they'll use that, and it works just fine. The idea here is you want something that will activate the glue and also evaporate pretty quick. Now, I've also heard guys using tiki torch lantern oil.
Paint thinner? I've used
Yeah.
paint. That's what I use.
Yeah. Tiki torch lamp oil, no. Gasoline, no. Now, as another practice, there's a, here, like this.
Oh,
That delicate stuff.
that's the...
The lanolin is another oil-based, or as lanolin would sound like it is.
Yeah.
Now, it's really cool in the fact that it only takes a little squirt, and that squirt goes for miles, right? It works on the grip, works on that, all in one shot, but it takes a while for it to dry. So that's the payback. Now, it's also not as we'll say as harmful because it's lanolin. It's actually good for the skin, as opposed to not. There you go. Line her up. Wipe her down. And then it's, yeah, you got plenty on there. I wouldn't even worry about dipping it anymore.
Okay.
Now, the one thing that they do have on the tour van that I think is just cool as all get out is they have a stainless steel drip tray.
Yeah, so I've seen...
And the stainless steel drip tray, oop, had a little extra water in there, or a little extra solvent. The stainless steel drip tray has a continuous feed that you can turn on a pump or use a foot pedal to do it.
Yeah.
And you just fill it up from there, and it's all just incorporated into one thing. If I could figure out how to make that go, man, that'd be nice. Yeah, so if you didn't have the speed clamp, you could use this and then use this. They call that a shaft clamp, and it fits right into the jaws right there. And you put the shaft in it, and then you just gently hold down on it. And for a guy that's just doing it for himself, and time really isn't a commodity you have to worry about, that works just fine.
Oh yeah.
And for $3 for the clamp, and most folks have got vices in their house, so it's not a big deal. But for doing it like this, speed clamps, and they also have the other part we were talking about before is they have these things are ran by air, where they can run them by air, and you hit a foot pedal or a switch, and it goes and it closes up on it. That's pretty cool. Is that going there? There you go. And that'll hold it in place. That makes for even speedier, right? If you were just doing all kinds of them. There you go. Now you see how when you push it on, it goes out and then it wants to spring load back.
Yeah.
That's that you want it to spring load back, because that if you
That's
push
the
it and it
feeling you
stays,
want.
what'll happen is you'll make the grip smaller by stretching it.
Really?
And that's how you would do in some cases. A guy wants it a little bit smaller, and you would just stretch it, and it would take it down just a little bit. But when you do that, you got to hold it in place until the stuff goes away, and then it'll stick. Well, they're starting to look like golf clubs now instead of pieces parts.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so in the next one, we get ready to do this. We get done with this. Is the measuring phase, and just to see how good our work was. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure some total weight. We're going to measure some swing weight, and then we'll go out and we'll do some loft and lies. Alrighty, so you saw Matt do it. He just went through a truckload of these grips, the CP2 jumbos, and he's wiped them all down in order to do it. The best way is just over top of the trash can, that way if you miss it. And we got them on there. Everything looks aligned on the back, looks aligned on the front, looks aligned down where he wants it to go. And you saw him tap it down there so that we were having a seated. You saw how we put on the tape, and that's how we would do it here. Now again, there's always another method out there, but this is the most common that I'm showing you. So if you got any questions, put them in the show notes. And watch out for the next volume. This is the completed part. You get to see what they look like. So stay with us for the last volume of Teaching the Teacher, and let's see your scores go low.